heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark. Deep in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew. Deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares. Deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Bwaaa, King of the Hill podcast. I am Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
Hey, here we are. Look at us.
This is us. We're on camera, Mike.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
What a disappointment, I'm sure.
It only gets weirder from here, guys. If there's anything you want to us on this desk, send it to us.
Oh,
you know
heck yeah. We would love to have stuff in front of us. Yeah.
Actually, we probably
should have got Jordan's thing.
We probably should have had our blend jets out.
That's true.
Yeah, well, growing pains. Season 4, episode 1. So we got plenty of time to figure all this out.
So the idea here was that we do the whole set the first time, but life and rain and settings and stuff like that.
To be Texas, we've had so much rain this last 6 months. It's unbelievable.
It's been a lot of rain,
which is a good thing.
But we're working towards it. Like I say, this is a work in progress. All of it is. And we're working towards getting some really cool set pieces and some different things going on.
We get a lot going for you guys.
Yeah, there's a possibility of some other things happening that you don't know about yet. And so,
okay, well, there's things I don't know yet happening.
Yeah,
that's even, hey, you're surprised, I'm surprised.
There's going to be all kinds of stuff, yeah. We got our Alamo beers in front of us.
We got some Alamos. Cheers
to
our
cheers to the Alamo.
To the I guess the next stage of Bwaaa.
It is the next stage.
Yeah. Welcome.
So this is, first and foremost, I want to address the Hulu issue.
Okay. We have a Hulu problem here.
Well, when I went and got this show, when I get the transcript, it said season 4, episode 1, Old as the Hills, part 2.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
On Hulu, it says Peggy Hill, The Decline and Fall.
It does.
So
you're very
whole
right.
different different title.
I didn't get that noted, but I knew you would. So
yeah, it confused me a little bit, but I do like the fact that it's not part 1 and part 2.
I kind of like that.
Like that better.
Yeah, I like the part 1 and part 2 just seems lazy. I don't feel like the writers.
It's definitely a decline and fall too.
Definitely a decline and fall. Yeah,
it's a fall and decline.
Yeah,
I believe is the way.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotions in this episode for sure.
A lot, yeah, from
emotions.
Everybody.
A range.
Yeah, even from Cotton, which is really odd. Okay, so we start off this episode, season 4, episode 1, Peggy Hill, The Decline and Fall. We get a something that I don't think we've ever gotten on King of the Hill before, which is a previously on King of the Hill.
No, that might be the first one.
So it's Bobby's voice, and then we see the up in the airplane. We see Peggy and all them, and they're going through their jumping motions that we were talking about last episode. The guy asked Peggy if she's going to jump. She goes, "You got my check. What do you care?" Then we see Bobby driving Didi to the hospital again, and he's like, "I know where the
car."
Yeah, he knows where the Arlen Hospital is. Can you hold it? Then we hear Hank telling Peggy, "You got to do it. It's amazing." And then we see Luanne run up, and she's Uncle Hank. Didi's having the baby right now, and so we get all of that. Then we get Peggy jumping, and the guy telling her to pull her cord, her emergency cord, all the cords, and then she falls. So now we're all caught up from season 3, episode 25, right?
25. 25 weeks.
That's right.
That was the 25th week was last week.
Well,
the week before last.
And the fact that we do 2 a week.
Yeah.
So 50.
So 50.
50 in that season at least.
Yeah. That season,
Wow. We get our opening credits, no bell, no yell, because this is not it's not a season finale or anything like that.
Which we've discovered that most of the bells and yells are at the season finale.
Season finales, special shows, things like that. Yeah, okay. Very special episode of King of the Hill. So we get Peggy falling, and this is literally the next second from where episode 25 stopped. So Hank is just watching in amazement as Peggy falls to the earth and sinks into the mud in the middle of this field.
Yeah, face first into the mud. It's really,
which is fantastic.
It's really a funny,
thunk.
Funny
I mean, she just swalk right into the mud. Peggy, I think my wife, I think she might be dead. He says to all the people that are standing around. He goes, I think she might be dead. I'll be right back. And then he runs into the field.
Runs right in the field.
Yeah. He's in the field with the other jumpers and Luanne and all that. And then Luanne can't hold it together. She's shrieking. Hank finally finds Peggy. Luanne thinks that this cattle skull that she's wandered across in the field might be Peggy. And so she thinks she picks it up.
Yeah.
She
Poor
picks it
Luanne.
up and takes it with her. But you see Hank run out there after he tells people he'll be right back, and he starts bogging down in the mud. So we get an idea of how muddy and gross it is out there and why Peggy could fall from an airplane and still live.
Yeah. That's like all the topsoil is just super, super mush.
Well, and the doctor says later, had she done this or whatever, she'd probably be dead, and we'll get to that. But next we go to the hospital. Didi is in the process of giving birth to GH, which we don't know it's GH yet, but and Bobby's saying, dang it, Didi, push. And then the doctor, oh, it's okay, son, the baby's here. So the baby comes out, and Bobby thinks it's beautiful. Didi asks what's his name, which is an odd thing for a mother to ask about her baby.
That's her baby, yeah.
And
What's his name?
the doctor says, here, you go cut the umbilical cord, and hands it to Bobby, gives him the little scissors, and Bobby gets to cut the umbilical cord.
Cut the umbilical cord.
He goes, oh, my uncle.
Oh, my uncle, yeah.
We're back in the field with Hank and
What an
Peggy.
experience.
Yeah, no kidding. We're back in the field with Hank and Peggy, and he's like, Peggy. And then here comes Luanne running up with the cow skull. Hank sees Peggy sunk into the ground there, and he's like, okay, think one piece. As he's running over to her, he just wants her to be in one piece. And you hear I think the best line of this entire show is Peggy in the mud, being discovered as to whether she's alive or dead, going, hey, doing her fat Howard call. It's just the best.
Yeah, that's funny.
Hank says, oh, God, you're all smashed up. She goes, I'm alive, just barely. And then, of course.
That's funny, her optimism, though.
Oh, yeah, no
even though
kidding,
she
right?
it just shows a little bit of Peggy's arrogance. Even though she's
It's
sitting
true.
there broken,
It's true.
She can't show weakness at all, Peggy.
So Luanne comes running up. She's holding the cow skull, telling the Hank that they're too late.
Yeah, we're too
Which
late.
is fantastic.
We're too late, Unky Hank.
We're back at the hospital with the baby. The nurse asked Bobby, would you like to hold your baby now? And Bobby's like, oh, no, I'm not the Oh, yes, I do. Yeah.
Yes,
and so Bobby, honestly, he's a good kid. And he's got a great
he
heart.
just went through probably one of those traumatic experiences that somebody his age could go through.
He's 12 years old,
He
and you're
had
in
to
there
birth
cutting the umbilical
his
cord.
Grandmother's child, and drive the car. I mean, that's
Step-grandmother.
That's Texas. That's as Texas as it gets.
Mm-hmm.
Your step grandmother, who is the same age as your father.
It's pretty damn close.
You have to drive the '70s Cadillac car.
Well, the thing
car.
that blows my mind is how Hank compares Didi and Peggy here in a little bit.
Oh, she's 3 years older than you.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knew that?
Yeah, who knew that?
And so the ambulance driver, what are they called?
An ambulance driver?
What are they called?
Paramedics.
Paramedic. God, I went through this whole damn thing, and I just kept writing down ambulance driver, because I couldn't think of the word paramedic.
Because I have an uncle in England that was a paramedic.
Yeah.
But anytime you ask him what he does, I'm an ambulance driver.
I'm an ambulance driver.
I'm an ambulance driver. Yeah.
So he says they're getting Peggy out of the ambulance, and they're like, okay, move it. Hank and Peggy come out of the ambulance, and she's strapped down to a gurney. It's like you see those players that get hurt real bad on the NFL field or something. You know how they strap them down in three different places, right? So they can't move at all. And they're moving her in, and they're saying, keep her straight. And then as they're wheeling her in, her little parachute goes poof, and it goes off, which is a great joke.
Almost like 2 hours too late.
That's right. At least.
They've already transported her to the hospital.
Yeah.
They're in the waiting to operate on her. Is poof.
So, and you know what? You know what I didn't reference?
What did you not
These are my notes.
Oh, yeah, these
folks.
are Mike's notes.
These are the notes that we go through every week, and I know that you people listening on audio can't see these, but This is
they're watching on YouTube.
It's
at Bwaaa,
K-O-T-H. It's a huge note system that we have here.
But we're going to do something special with these notes. We haven't quite decided what we want to do with them, but we thought about potentially.
I think we'll probably make them available to everybody.
Make them available to everybody. If you want to buy them or whatever, you could buy them from some exclusive store.
Yeah, I think probably what's going to end up happening is we're going to start a Patreon or something like that. Yeah. Make sure the notes are available. Make sure that we've got extra videos for you guys, extra content, merchandise, live shows, things like that.
That's what I want to make sure we get them. Get them some merchandise.
I personally would like to take calls from listeners.
I would like to take calls. From
I would love
too,
that,
like an advice type thing.
Yeah.
Like advice from the fence line.
I don't want to be responsible for any advice given.
I do though.
But
like the gecko thing. Have you seen that? The advice gecko.
Yeah,
that guy who just dresses up in green and takes call. I want to do something like that.
I'm happy to
at the fence. We'll give him Texans advice from Texans. Or
I'm happy to give advice, but I just don't want to be responsible for it.
We'll have a disclaimer.
Yeah, there should be a disclaimer. Yeah, we by no means are licensed therapists.
Yeah, we're not responsible for any damages caused by our piss poor advice.
So now we're back in the waiting room at the hospital. Hank is just pacing back and forth. There is football on the TV, on that old ass TV up on the wall there, you remember from every hospital. TV's always too small.
Always too small.
And there's always something playing on it. This time it just happens to be football, so we know it's either a Monday or a Sunday here.
Monday or Sunday evening.
Luanne is curled up on the couch, and Hank's got the football on. I don't think Hank is really paying super close attention to the football.
No.
Because he's just pacing back and forth. But he does notice it a couple of times as he's going back and forth.
He doesn't seem like a guy to me that just watches football for the sake of football. If the Cowboys aren't on the TV, he's not watching it.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think he's watching, a 49ers Baltimore game.
We just know we know that this is the Cowboys because you hear the announcer say Aikman takes a snap over the middle quick to Smith. There's Emmitt Smith. He scores, and Hank's like, yes. And then he catches himself. He realizes, oh, shit, I'm in the hospital.
He's in the hospital,
And the doctor comes in and goes, Hank Hill? He goes, oh, I wasn't watching. Just for a second. I have no idea what the score is. I couldn't even tell you. And so he turns it off. And so things have gotten serious if he turns off a Cowboys game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got to be really serious.
Things have gotten super serious. So the doctor starts talking to him, and he goes, your wife is going to be just fine. He goes, oh, yes. And by the way, this doctor has to be Diedrich Bader.
It is Diedrich Bader.
Okay.
No, that's what I was going to say.
That's what I wrote down. I just wrote
that is
Bader
This
here.
is Diedrich Bader.
Yeah,
And if you're not watching this, Diedrich Bader, please let me interview
Hey, Diedrich Bader, please be on our show.
Yeah, I've tried to interview him.
I was watching, the reason his voice is in my head so much is I've been watching that Lucky Hank.
He's in that.
With Bob Odenkirk.
Is he like
he's his best friend. So
he's a cast member.
He's in probably half of the episodes.
Yeah.
And so he tells him it's going to be okay. He goes, oh, thank you. And the doctor says, Peggy has a compression fracture of the bones in her back. Thank goodness for the mud. She wouldn't have survived had she fallen on concrete, Mr. Hill. Or a fence. Well, yeah, no shit. He goes, but she's okay. He says, yes, they're putting her into a body cast right now to immobilize her while she heals. He goes, well, what color is the cast? He goes, what does that matter? He goes, I don't know. I've never been through this before. I'm just trying to ask the right questions. He goes, well, it's white. Sponge bath, bedpan, all that. Oh, thank you. So, Hank, he has no idea how to react to any of this.
He doesn't. This is a unique situation.
Well, I mean, think about it. He's not had a parent die. He's not had anything happen necessarily.
He's not really gone through anything. This kind of
just the birth of Bobby. That's about it, I guess, right? Yeah, for the most part.
Well, he's taking care of Luanne, but I don't think the same.
Same thing. Not quite the same though. No. And then I guess they were in there for the explosion and stuff, but that was more like make sure they're okay kind of thing, and then they get to go, an hour later.
Make sure there's no smoke on their lungs, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Now we see we're now in Peggy's hospital room. We see Peggy in a body cast. She's in the hospital bed, and she's just humming. I mean, she's happy as she can be, and I'm assuming that has something to do with painkillers.
Yeah, I was fixing to say that's that's a key indicator of an opiate addict is somebody humming. Actually, it was there was a friend of mine's dad who had he had hurt his back at work.
Yeah,
and he was laid off, of course, because it was a bad injury. He had to have multiple. He had to have like 4 or 5 back surgeries.
Sure.
Well, it was during the opiate epidemic when you could just get opiates like willy nilly, and they had prescribed him like 4 or 5 different kinds of opiates. He was on like multiple different ones,
Yeah.
and he would hum all like you were watching TV, working outside. He just hummed all day long.
Oh, I don't doubt it. You know, before I had my back surgery like 20 years ago, they used to give me hydrocodone and something called Soma, which is a muscle relaxer.
Oh, wow.
And so I would take both of those multiple times a day and still go about my day.
Yeah.
It was not easy. That is not an easy life.
No, that sounds tough.
Man.
Pain's tough, too. But,
Well, pain is tough, but being medicated all the time is almost worse.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's almost worse.
It's tough.
Okay, so he comes in, or she's humming. Hank comes to the door of her hospital room, and she goes, Peggy? And she goes, Hank, come on in. Look at me. I'm in an ensemble. My top cast and my bottom cast match. She's just so happy about it.
Yeah, she is, yeah,
they both kind of laugh, and Hank
knocks on it.
Yeah, he goes,
Quality plaster.
Quality plaster. Yeah.
Quality plaster.
Of
course, that's the first thing he would look at.
That's true,
Look
right.
at that plaster work.
Well, and it's kind of like any Texas dad or guy of a certain age in Texas. I mean, they're going to find either the weather to talk about or a car or something, the quality of something.
Masonry.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the masonry on that.
Yeah.
Look at that driveway. That driveway is just impeccable.
Absolutely. We see Luanne go past the door of the hospital room, and she's just bawling. She's just frantic, sobbing. And Peggy says, well, I'm guessing that was Luanne. Oh, I wish she wouldn't feel sorry for me when I feel so terrific for me. I've had a near-death experience. Most people never get that except when it's right next to their death experience, and then they can't appreciate it.
That's like that. Okay, so
it's perfect, Peggy.
I don't want to
Good job.
beat up on Peggy too much because she's laying in a hospital bed
well,
right
she's
now.
highly medicated,
but
too.
look how narcissistic she is, even in a
It's
hospital
true.
room.
It's true.
Even in a hospital bed in a cast, she's still so narcissistic that she would even say, I can't believe she said that.
Yeah.
I had a near-death experience. That's great. This is awesome. Now I got something to talk about now. Now I can brag that I had a near-death experience.
She goes, what's the odds? The last thing I remember was deciding not to jump. Hank, what would have made me change my mind? Of course, Hank knows, and he feels super friggin' guilty about what he told her, about how it's the best thing ever. You got to do it. He goes, I'm not sure. I don't know. I wasn't in the plane. I was on the ground. Remember, I'm the one who found you. She goes, I fell 8,000 feet and survived. Woohoo! I mean, she's just
hell yeah.
She's nuts.
Yeah, she's nuts.
Now we're into the hospital room. Comes Bobby. No, I'm sorry. We now see both Hank and Bobby out in the hospital. Kind of like where the vending machines are, like in the hall, the foyer, yeah. And
what were you doing before we started recording, Mike?
Hank is. I was just watching. Hank is getting some coffee out of one of those damn machines. Those machines make the worst coffee.
Oh,
ever.
You're talking about the big machines that you
the
put
coffee
the
machine,
cup and you push the button and it
or it drops the cup down, and then fills it.
The cup. Yeah, those are disgusting.
The only thing I would ever get out of those,
you know why they're disgusting though, right?
Why?
They're never properly cleaned.
Oh, sure.
So you're drinking 8 years of coffee filth.
Oh yeah. No, I wouldn't doubt that whatsoever. I also doubt that the coffee that they worry about it becoming stale, that shit's just open inside the machine and things. It just tastes awful. So the only thing I would ever get my grandmother worked in the hospital, and so I was there a lot. She was like in records or whatever. And I would get stuff out of the machines all the time because, you're a kid. You think it's fun to go to all the vending machines and get,
absolutely.
When they started putting apples in vending machines, I was out.
Ooh.
But
or bologna sandwiches.
Bologna sandwiches.
Pimento spread.
The only thing I would ever get out of the coffee machine was hot chocolate. And it's because the hot chocolate, it's the packaged stuff anyway. Who cares? As long as you got hot water and some of that mix, you're in good shape. So Bobby, Hank sees him over there kicking on one of the vending machines trying to get something out because Bobby is at his wit's end here. He goes, Bobby? He goes, oh, Dad, thank God. I need $1 bad. That's the only thing he's worried about. He needs $1 for that damn vending machine. And so then he walks Bobby into the hospital room with his mom, and she goes, Bobby? He goes, oh, you really fell out of a plane? Yes, sir, I did. She's so proud of it. The fact that she fell out of a damn plane.
Artie actually gave us a couple of statistics here. I'll run through them just real fast.
Yeah, please. Thanks, Artie.
Thanks, Artie. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Artie.
Yeah, we can see you now, but I appreciate it. So Fatalities occur at roughly 1 in every 500,000 in tandem jumps.
500,000.
1 in every 500,000.
Wow.
And then 1 in every 220,000 with just solo jumps.
Huh.
A rate of 0.006 skydives per 1,000, or 1 fatality every 167,000 jumps, which is less than dying from lightning strikes, dog bites, wasp stings, bike accidents, choking, or motor vehicle accidents.
Wasp stings.
So, yeah. So those are wasp stings are more dangerous than falling out of planes. Wow. Another one here.
I still have never fallen a building's length when getting stung by a wasp.
Yeah,
though.
I haven't either.
Like, I just don't.
That's pretty scary. And then it says here, at least 157 recorded incidents where people fell out of an aircraft without a parachute and survived. So there's over
my God.
157. Then it says
So they just fell out? They weren't planning on it?
yeah,
They
they were
fell out of a plane.
Fell out of a plane. And then 1 in every 1,000 parachutes don't operate with 100% efficiency. So
1 in 100,000?
yeah,
What'd you say?
1 in 1,000.
Oh, 1 in 1,000.
Yeah, 1 in
Oh,
every
my God.
1,000. That's
Wow.
crazy. And then it says the all-time record for surviving the highest fall without a parachute belongs to a Yugoslavian flight attendant. Her name was Vesna Volovic. She was the sole survivor of a bomb placed on board a JAT flight 367 in 1972. She fell 33,330 feet. Experts believe she survived because she was trapped in a food cart inside a section of the aircraft's fuselage, which then landed at an angle on a heavily wooded and snowy mountainside in Czechoslovakia. So what she was in with just like the perfect mathematical trajectory is what saved her.
33,000 feet.
Just imagine the math that it took for her to survive. Somebody's up there like the Pythagorean theorem working hard for the angles.
Well,
for
you
her
got to
survive.
wonder how many people died that day because she survived. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like,
Well, the whole plane
who took her
died
place?
and she lived.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm
1
saying.
out of 1,000, or 1 out of 100 people on that plane.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So she says, "Yes, sir, I did." She's very proud of it. She goes, "Your mom is one of only 16 people who have survived parachutes not opening." Now, 16 is my estimate. Okay, Peggy, check it. She goes, "I'll double check my numbers later." She's just full of shit.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Luanne comes in finally. She's finally done crying. She goes, I'm sorry about before. I don't know what came over me. And then she starts crying again. She
Yeah.
just freaks out and runs out again. Peggy says, or Bobby asks his mother, what would make you jump out of a plane? Which has always been my question. Peggy says, well, that's exactly what I can't figure out. And, of course, Hank, trying to get in front of this thing, not wanting to be the cause of it, says, well, don't try too hard because the doctor says that could hurt your bones somehow. Okay, Hank. He goes, Bobby, how was your day? He goes, my day? Don't even get me started. My day was incredible. I was Didi's birthing partner. I cut the umbilical cord. That's great.
Yeah, that was great.
Cotton comes to the door. Didi, where's Didi? Hank, what'd you do to your wife? I didn't teach you that. Looking at Peggy in the body cast. He immediately thinks that Hank did it. Now we're over at Didi's room. They've all gone over to Didi's room with the exception of Peggy. And Didi is curled up in a ball facing the other way. The room is dark. She does not look great.
No, she's in the middle
She's
of
in rough
postpartum,
shape.
I believe is what they call it.
Yeah,
Postpartum
she's in
depression.
postpartum depression. And they actually do mention that here in a minute. And that is no laughing matter, by the way.
No, that's real deal stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
it really
that's
happens.
real stuff, and it's not great. Cotton says, where's my dependent? I'm supposed to look at it.
Where's my new dependent? Yeah.
And Didi hears him and kind of turns over and she goes, oh, where did I put it? Oh, there it is. And she just points over to the baby in a carrier over in the corner.
Yeah.
Like it's in that plexiglass thing that they push around with all the new
Yeah, just
babies,
sitting
you
there
know?
by itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor baby.
The baby wasn't crying.
No, he wasn't
so
crying.
I
He
guess
just
it was
laying there.
okay. And then Bobby comes over and grabs the baby, presents it to Cotton, and says, Uncle, I present you to your father. like it's part of Lion King or something. Cotton immediately takes to this baby.
Looks right at his shins.
Immediately. He goes, look at him. His shins are perfect. Ooh, look at you there, handsome little soldier. You want to kill a Nazi? A Nazi squazzy? A Nazi squazzy? Didi, did you name this baby yet? She goes, what's the use? What's the use?
What's the use?
Well, number one, she asked if somebody else named it when it
Yeah.
came out, and
She's
now she's like,
uninterested right
who
now.
cares?
Yeah.
Cotton says, I'm calling him Hank. I always wanted a boy named Hank. With Hank standing there.
My name's
Hank's
Hank.
literally
Yeah.
standing there, and he goes, Dad, my Hank is my name. He goes, not anymore. I'm taking it back. He's Hank. He goes, you can't take away a grown man's name. He goes, all right, I'll call him GH.
GH.
Good Hank. that is probably, I would say that is the lowest blow I think that Cotton ever makes to Hank. You know, there's one where he finds out he's got another brother and he's got, all this other stuff about Cotton.
That's pretty bad, though.
But to name your baby Good Hank in front of your son Hank,
it's pretty bad.
That's rough.
That's tough.
I feel really bad for Hank. We're at the Hill house now. We're in the backyard. Bobby and Cotton are sitting out on the patio furniture there in the backyard. You see Hank over at the grill, of course, because that's where he feels comfortable. And Cotton and Bobby both have big hamburgers in their hands, right? Looks like they've taken a couple of bites. So you can only assume that Hank cooked these hamburgers for them. Again, I think this is what Hank feels comfortable doing, right? He feels like himself, and he doesn't have to really think about what's going on. Cotton says, "Did you see the way that my boy looked at that nurse? Practically slapped her rump, and then right then and there." Bobby goes, "Oh yeah, Uncle Good Hank really is something special." This is all in front of Hank.
All in front of Hank.
I mean,
Uncle Good Hank.
Well, even his son. Yeah. Hank comes over and goes, "Dad, this isn't right. You call him Good Hank, it's going to make it sound like I'm bad Hank." Well, that is what it sounds like.
Didn't you, BH?
Well, you burnt my burger, didn't you, BH? BH. Wow, Cotton is such a dick.
Yeah, he's a dick.
Okay, so now it's nighttime. Hank is in bed, but he is tossing and turning. He is not getting good sleep.
No.
In his head, he sees it's dark and stormy, and there's a ton of lightning and stuff, and Hank's parachuting down, and you can hear him saying, "Peggy, you got to do it. It's amazing. It's the best dang feeling in the world." And then it cuts back to Hank kind of flopping and tossing in the bed, and he goes, "Oh, no, don't tell her that," kind of as he's sleeping. He goes, "Why'd you tell her that?" And then now you're back in the dream. You get all that dramatic lightning and stuff going on, and Hank's going, "Oh, no, of course it's safe. It's fail-safe. I guarantee you'll love it. I command you to jump. If you love me, you'll jump." Yeah. And then he turns, you see Peggy, and he turns into the Grim Reaper, which is a little unsettling. And then he's just like, "Jump, jump, 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 jump." And then you see this airplane flying around his head in the dream and things like that. And so he's not having a good time of it. We're now at the hospital, and the nurse is trying to show Cotton how to diaper a baby.
Yeah, he has no clue at his age.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you would have thought that maybe he figured it out with Hank.
Whether he figured it out
Bad
with
Hank
or not,
yeah.
Like, he's an old man. Like, you should be able to have to change a diaper by his age.
So the nurse says, "Okay, now you try." He goes, "We'll see about this. Okay, put this over there. Good. Tuck this little nibble in there. Close up shop. There, ready for soiling." What the? The kid is leaking out of his chest. That's from his nipples. The nurse says, "It's a form of lactation." Dang it, you said he was a boy.
Yeah,
she
it's,
goes,
oh, go ahead.
No, you're good. Yeah. She goes, he is. He's simply been ingesting a lot of female hormones from his mother. It's so common it has a name, witch's milk.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yep.
I was going to tell her do the witch's milk. So Artie here, he says breast milk production occurs in about 5% of newborns and can persist for 2 months. Though breast buds can persist into childhood, witch's milk is more likely to be secreted by full-term babies, rarely in premature babies.
Sure.
That is a wild fact.
That is a weird thing to happen.
Weird fact.
Yeah, I can see him being really freaked out by that.
Yeah, I mean,
he goes, "Oh Lord, what did I do? Was it the 50 men I killed?" Yeah, he thinks that karma's. He thinks karma's coming back on him. Yeah,
it's the 50 men.
Now we got Peggy looking up at the ceiling of the hospital as she's pushed on that gurney down the hall. I think most of us have been there where you're on a gurney and the only thing you can see is the ceiling, just pass. Yeah. And it's even worse for Peggy because she's in that whole body cast. She can't turn her head or anything like that, and so that's all she's seeing. She goes, "Oh, the maternity ward ceiling. Oh, it reminds me of when my son was born. And I am also reminded of when my next child will be born." What? What does that mean?
I don't know.
It reminded me of when my next child will be born.
Never, I guess he means never.
That is weird. Yeah. The nurse knocks on the window at the other nurse behind the window when they get to their where they're supposed to be, and Peggy says, "Why isn't the baby with his mother?" The nurse says, "Didi Hill has postpartum depression." Number one, you can't tell that to just anybody.
No, you can't.
That's a violation.
That's
definitely
okay. Against the rules.
Yeah. She goes,
breaking the rules here.
She couldn't even gather up the strength to put on some lipstick, and she looks awful. Wow, nurse, thanks.
That poor infant baby.
Yeah, she goes, that poor infant baby. Is there something I can do? She goes, oh, that's all right, ma'am. You just try not to get addicted to that morphine.
Yeah,
okay, so now we know she's on morphine. Now we've got Cotton and a very rough-looking Didi, and Cotton is giving her the business. She says, he goes, you did this to my son. There's no milk coming out of these, and he pulls up his shirt to show his nipples, for God's sakes. Who wants to see those?
Reason.
Yeah, and then Peggy comes wheeling in, and she goes, Cotton, stop it. You should be comforting her. Comfort her? Comfort me. What a dick. And so the nurse says, Mr. Hill, and she's talking to Cotton. She says, your insurance company's automated voice says that you have to leave the hospital today. In 85 minutes. In 85 minutes.
Specific, yeah.
He goes, but I can't take care of a dripping witch child. Can't we just stay hospitaling until Didi gets her brains back? Wow. The nurse says, well, maybe if you were the richest man in America. Next, we see Hank with a bouquet of flowers coming back into the hospital. He's walking down the hall, obviously going to Peggy's room. He gets stopped by the doctor, and the doctor says, no more monkeys jumping. No, he says, more flowers, Mr. Hill. Well, don't unwrap them. He goes, well, why not? They told me downstairs they should be placed in water. He goes, well, you and your wife and those flowers are going home today, which... It is crazy to me how fast they send people home.
Oh, they send people home quick.
Oh my God,
they send people home
it's
fast.
nuts.
My dad had neck surgery, and he was it was like the next morning they let him go.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you can tell by looking at me on the YouTubes, but I had a hip replaced. I've had a back surgery. I've had a vertebrae in my neck replaced. I've had all these things done.
Man.
And the next day, you're done.
The $600,000 man.
Yeah. Well, shoot, when they did the hip, they had me up within like a couple of hours of when I woke up. They had me up and walking. It's nuts. Yeah, It's crazy. I've got what looks like a Hitachi massager wand in my.
That's what it is.
It's kind of what it looks like. Yeah.
That joint.
Mm-hmm. So, but Hank is a little taken back by this, and he goes, but Peggy's got a broken back. Doctor says, I know. I told you that. Okay.
I told you that, yeah.
But she wants to be discharged. I'm not so worried about her back. I'm worried about her emotional state, which you should be. She's way too happy for somebody. Hank says, yeah, but she seems so happy. Doctor says, yeah, well, once the thrill of surviving wears off, and it does, trust me, jet ski, July 94,
July 94.
She may experience a second crash when she feels her own limitations. He goes, well, there won't be a second crash. As long as I'm around, I won't let her feel any limitations. The doctor, well, that's not possible, Hank, but okay. The doctor says, there's no need for you to feel this guilty. You didn't make her jump. He goes, yeah, you think you could put that on her chart? Now we're in Peggy's room. Hank comes in. He goes, Peggy, I'm here. She goes, hey, we're going home today. I packed up myself without any help from the nurses. And then they pan down to the suitcase, and it's just a mess. Just shit thrown everywhere.
It's not even in, like, what are you going to do?
The suitcase is like wide open, and it's just shit thrown everywhere.
Yeah, she should chill out. Chill out, Peggy.
Yeah, Hank goes down and starts packing the suitcase on the floor, and he goes, are you sure you're ready? She goes, well, honey, ready or not, I have to go. I invited Cotton and Didi and the baby to stay with me until they can take care of him on their own. Well, shit, Peggy.
Ooh.
You're just asking Hank to take care of everybody.
That's it, 'cause ain't nobody, she can't do shit.
Who else is going to do it?
She can't.
So Hank says, you think you can help him take care of a baby? Which, I mean, he's got every right to ask that question because she can't.
Yeah.
She says, if that poor farm boy whose arms were ripped off by a thrasher could dial 911 with his nose, then I think Peggy Hill can take care of that baby.
I've got that story for you, too.
Do it.
Okay, so there was a young man, 18-year-old farmer in North Dakota by the name of John Thompson. As generic as his name sounds, it's an actual real story, not a fake name. He had suffered a terrible accident. So in the year of 1992,
the year of our Lord, 1992,
30 years ago or so, he was unloading pig feed with a grain auger. Well, the grain auger grabbed his shirt, and it uncovered the power takeoff shaft.
Oh my God.
So he just blacked out. Well, when he woke up, his dog was licking his face, and he realized that he had no arms. So he walked 1,000 yards to his house, used his mouth to open the door, used a pencil in his mouth to call the police, call the ambulance, and he got in the bath to bleed everywhere so he wouldn't bleed out on his carpet. So
how do you not just bleed out?
I don't know. And from what I understand, I think they actually were able to sew his arms back on so he didn't.
Holy crap!
He didn't completely lose his arms.
Wow, That's nuts.
It doesn't say it here, but I've read this story before, and I'm pretty sure that from what I remember of it, they put his arms back on. I could be wrong, but I remember there's some story I read recently of somebody losing their arms and getting them sewed back on. I'm pretty sure it was this one.
Well, there's so many nerves and stuff. How do you do that? I mean, I can see putting them back on, but I would think you're just kind of.
Well, it depends on how clean
they're flopping around.
I guess.
Yeah.
Because they can
Thrasher cut doesn't sound real clean.
Well, they can reconnect all those things.
Yeah, I guess
it's intact enough to reconnect. So it must have been clean enough cut. A grain auger just sounds disgusting.
What a frightening thing. Okay, so that takes us to our first commercial break, and I hope you guys are enjoying this, and we will be
right back.
Right back. Well, let me tell you, Rusty, eating healthy used to be a struggle for me, but that was before I discovered the BlendJet 2 portable blender.
The BlendJet 2.
Now when fast food temptation strikes, I just blend up a delicious and nutritious protein shaker smoothie. You know, they gave us a whole bunch of those little packages that came with the blender.
Yeah.
And there's some really good flavors in there. I mean, there's some like that matcha thing.
The green matcha?
Yeah, those are pretty damn good. BlendJet 2 is portable, so you can blend up smoothies at work, a protein shake at the gym, or even a margarita on the beach. It's small enough to fit in a cup holder, but powerful enough to blast through ingredients like ice and frozen fruit with ease. Maybe a human thumb. Don't put your thumb in it. BlendJet 2 is whisper quiet, so you can make your morning smoothie without waking up the whole house. Lasts for 15-plus blends and recharges quickly via USB-C, which has saved us all. There's nothing worse than turning that USB thing over and over and over and over, and then finally finding how it plugs in, you know?
Oh, yeah, I don't like that either. USB-C saved us all.
Best of all, BlendJet 2 cleans itself. Just blend water with a drop of soap, and you're good to go. There's 30-plus colors and patterns to choose from. There's a BlendJet 2 to complement just about any style. We have a pink one? Lavender. I think ours is lavender.
Mine is the Toy Story Aliens.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the Pizza Planet one.
Ooh, that one. Yeah. They've got some really cool colors, but I really like the patterns. I know one of the people here got one that looks like Woody the Sheriff.
Is there a code with them?
There is a code. What are you waiting for? Go to blendjet.com and grab yours today. Glab it today.
Glibbity glob.
And when you do glab it, make sure you use the promo code
BWAAA12.
That's to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. No other portable blender on the market comes close to the quality, power, and innovation of the BlendJet 2. They guarantee you'll love it or your money back. Blend anytime, anywhere with the BlendJet 2 portable blender. Go to blendjet.com and use the code
BWAAA12
to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. Shop today and get the best deal ever.
BlendJet 2, formerly known as BlendJet.
Hey, everyone. It's me, your puzzle-loving pal. Did you know I was a puzzle-loving pal?
I didn't know you were a puzzle-loving pal.
I got to tell you about my latest obsession. It's Wongo puzzles. These things are the real deal. They are high-quality, handcrafted, and perfect for anyone who loves a good challenge but doesn't want to dedicate their entire kitchen table to puzzles for a week. Trust me, I have been there. I will tell you this. My parents, they're very old and decrepit, and they do puzzles all the damn time.
Yeah.
Like there's always a table that has like an unfinished puzzle. Yeah, it's either that or I don't know.
Die.
feel your bones. So these puzzles, these Wongo puzzles, they are 100% wooden. They'll last forever. Each piece is hand drawn. Just think about that for a second. Each piece is hand drawn, so no two pieces are the same, and you'll discover some fun whimsy pieces as you work through it.
Whimsy.
They come in a custom wooden box, which is perfect for storage and gifting. Before we started doing this, I didn't realize how many people I know already have these Wongo puzzles. I mean, they're apparently pretty.
You can't go wherever Juan go.
With stunning designs and unique shapes, Wongo puzzles are a cut above the rest. I loved doing the snow globe puzzle myself. It was great to pull out a puzzle and be done in a night and not have it on the table for a week. So what are you waiting for? Let's go to Wongo Puzzles, WONGO puzzles.com, and pick a puzzle today. And be sure to use the promo code
BWAAA
for 10% off your order. It's the most fun you'll have with a puzzle, guaranteed, or your money back. Go to WONGO puzzles.com and use your code
BWAAA
to get 10% off your order and get puzzling right now. All right, we are back. I, for one, really enjoyed us talking about those products.
Yeah.
Thought they were fantastic products.
Fantastic products.
Okay, so we see the three guys waiting in the alley. We've got Dale and Boomhauer and Bill. Yep, and Bill is in his green Letterman sweater for some reason. I don't really understand what he's doing there.
Why he's in that, yeah.
But he is dressed up to greet Peggy when she comes home. He's got a balloon that says "Welcome Home" on it. Bill tries so very hard. He goes, maybe I'll sign on the stomach. No, the leg. No, the stomach. The Heimlich County ambulance pulls up, which I just put down a bunch of question marks and exclamation marks past this. I have never seen an ambulance deliver somebody back to their house.
Yeah, I've never seen that either. Well, it would be medical transport.
I guess, but jeez.
Well, I don't know.
That's pretty specific. I mean, it just seemed like it was.
I know they have medical transport and stuff that transports people that are in those type of situations home that do like hospice type stuff.
I guess, man.
I didn't know they did it in ambulances. I've never seen that before.
Especially for somebody who's not dying. You know, I mean,
yeah.
I can understand if you were delivering them to like an old folks home or an infirmary of some kind or something like that. But man, just to your house. But anyway, they do it in Heimlich County, and so Dale is like, oh. As the ambulance pulls up, he goes, just act natural. Hank gets out, and he's like, back off, everybody. And Bill's like, oh. And he has to finally get out of the way. Hank is able to get the other two guys out of the way, but Bill, of course, standing there like an idiot with his dumb balloon. Now we see the EMTs starting to wheel Peggy into the house on a gurney. And, of course, they hit the door. Not one time, multiple times.
Yeah, they just beating her up even more.
Hank's like, oh, that's our fault, Peggy, not your fault. Yeah, no shit, Hank. She goes, try the back door. It'll fit. I mean, and so they go around to the back to the double doors.
Yeah.
Now, anybody who's ever had one of those sliding glass doors knows it only opens on one side.
That's it.
And so they open it up and they try to get her in, and they're just bang, bang, bang. And she goes, am I in a very wide bed? Hank says, well, maybe we can get her in at an angle. Come on, guys. All right, on three. And so all three guys, plus Hank, plus the EMTs, they're all tilting Peggy over in the gurney just so they can get her through the door, which is nuts.
That is nuts.
They get her in, and Boomhauer, well, he says, all right, on three, and Boomhauer's like, all right, lift on three, man. You mean I'll give a 1, 2, dang on three, then go on, do you kind of lift on three? Just lift it, man. All of them help. He says, tilt it towards me, no, tilt it away, blah, blah, blah. And they finally get in the house. And then they try to go into the hallway, and they start banging into the shelves and stuff. And Peggy's like, okay, I'm good. I'm in the living room anyway. I can run the whole house from here. Hub of the wheel. She cannot, but that's foreshadowing. Yeah. Now, we transition to Hank making balls of meat. He's just got like ground beef, and he's making them into those balls you make before you make patties, I guess. But he's sticking some little wooden skewers into the balls, and they all say well done, which I thought was really weird because Hank would never cook anything well done.
No, I don't think.
Because I think he has said previously if they want it well done, that you just ask them politely to leave.
Steaks, they said that though.
It was.
I don't think. Do you think he eats his burgers the same way he eats his steaks? Because I know that some people.
I will eat a burger like medium.
I like my burgers
little pink.
But. I like my steaks mooing.
Oh yeah. No, on a rare steak.
I think that Hank might probably like. He might like a well done
hamburger, raw steak.
Yeah, I think that might be it.
All right.
A different flavor. When you cook a hamburger patty all the way through as compared to where you cook a steak all the way through,
That's true.
It's a little different because of the fat content and everything's a little different.
You know what's not great is a microwaved hamburger patty after the fact. They really lose a lot.
You know what I hate? Ordering like DoorDash or something, your food gets there just a little too late, and then you have to take the patty off of the complete burger and then put it in the microwave.
No,
I actually don't mind that.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it dries it the hell out. It's
that's
weird tasting.
That's why you got to put you get a little
bit of water
and put it in the microwave.
I know. I never do that. I know you're supposed to, but I never do it.
It's like a little silicone thing that you clean
just
and
fill with
out,
water,
and you just put it in your microwave and leave it in there.
All right. Well, I need one of those. Hank is looking over at Luanne as he's making these balls of meat, and he goes, Luanne, I think you got two people sitting in the same chair there. She goes, but that's Aunt Peggy's place. I can't just put someone there like she doesn't exist. She's still alive, I think. And then she just starts crying again. I think. She literally can go in there and look at her. Hank says, maybe it might do us all some good if you go away for a while. How'd you like a few nights at the Motel Arlen? My treat. She goes, Highway 9 or 6? He goes, 9. She goes, no, thank you. Which I'm not sure what's wrong with Highway 9.
Let's see if they're even like.
It's a little rough.
I've heard of Highway 6, but is there a Highway 9 in Texas?
I'm sure there is a Highway 9.
Let's see here.
She goes,
oh yeah, there
9
is.
or 6.
Okay, so this kind of actually helps us kind of pinpoint where they might be even more.
That's true.
So Texas State Highway 6 is in Coppers Cove.
Yeah.
But I don't think 6 crosses 9 anywhere in Coppers Cove.
State Highway 9.
State Highway 9, Tank Destroyer Boulevard. So that's actually State Highway 9 that would be out there by, it's literally one tiny little piece.
Is it out there by like Fort Hood and what's now Fort Cavazos?
That is literally the only, that's Highway 9 right there.
Yeah.
Boop.
Oh wow!
Not even a full.
Ooh, that really does pinpoint, doesn't it?
That would if they live near Highway 9.
Because we know they live between 6 and 9, right?
Yeah. But
so I don't know where 6 is.
To that. Well, 9's here. 6 is way over here.
Yeah.
Somewhere it would be, I would imagine.
Huh. I'm telling you, man. One day we're gonna do the National Treasure type thing and go find out where this place actually is. So he goes, all right, Highway 6, and she goes, oh, yes, and then she runs off giggling. She really likes to stay in a motel.
Yeah, motel.
Good for
6. Motel 9?
Motel 9,
6?
Motel 6. No, it's the Arlen Motel, right?
The Arlen Motel.
Yeah, Motel Arlen. Motel Arlen.
There we go.
Yeah,
That's
Motel
the
Arlen.
famous Twitter motel.
Right.
Motel
That's
Arlen.
right.
Y'all
Motel
go
Arlen.
to Twitter. Go to Motel Arlen on Twitter. And,
At Motel Arlen.
Try to put a reservation in. We've been trying to get a room for months.
So we are in the living room now with Peggy on the gurney. Now, everybody's over there for some reason. I guess it's because she came home. And Min says, cast make you look good, Peggy Hill, like a mummy museum piece, but with attitude. Mummy for the 90s.
Mummy for the 90s.
Which is kind of funny. I mean, when
funny.
you consider when this thing was made.
Because the movie, The Mummy, came out in the year 2000. So.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, around that time.
Oh, there you go. Nancy says, Shug, you ain't helping. Peggy, people spend hundreds of dollars at a spa to get wrapped up like that. Peggy says, yes, it is very refreshing. Well, no, you're in a body cast,
you're
Peggy.
In a body cast.
Not
the same.
Yeah. She goes, well, I just can't believe your attitude. Who would have thought? Didi's depressed and you're not. All right. Thanks, Nancy. We hear a car horn honk outside, and Min's like, oh, the baby's here. And so Cotton, what I wrote down is rough Didi, and Baby pull up in the Cadillac car, and he's honking the horn, and Peggy says, oh, good, the baby's here. Okay, Min, make sure that Didi puts a hat on him, and Nancy, you make sure he takes it off when he gets inside the house. And then it kind of pans out, and there is literally nobody left in the house with Peggy. It's just her. We're now in the living room with Peggy and Hank. Peggy says, Bobby, honey, come on in here. And you got to realize that she's in this body cast, and she's just, I know this sound sucks, but she's like laying all the way back, she can't move a damn thing. She can't move anything.
She's immobilized.
Yeah. The subject of going to the bathroom never came up.
Glad it didn't.
Yeah.
That's not something I'd want to explore.
I don't know.
Actually, I wouldn't want to explore being in a body cast period for that length of time.
God, no.
Because if she's in that body cast, it's at least 6 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And if she's in a body cast for 6 weeks, unless she's going in once a week and they're bathing her and cutting it off and putting a new one on every week just for the sake of cleanliness, she would reek. I had a cast on my arm when I was 11, broke my arm, and I had a deal on it.
Yeah.
And
no, it smells.
Whenever they took it off, it was god awful. There's just dead skin everywhere.
It smells like a cat's ass. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough.
Awful.
She goes, Bobby, come on in here. I'll teach you how to change a diaper. Bobby comes in. He's like, I already did it. Fed him, washed him, diapered him. GH is good to go, but I got spit up on my good shorts. Bobby is literally like, he's got his backpack on. He's ready to go to school and everything, but he's taking care of GH.
He's doing everything he can.
Peggy says, put your good shorts by the sink. I'll get right to it, but maybe for now, just pull your shirt down. Well, Peggy, you're not going to get up and take care of his dirty shorts.
You can't do anything.
Yeah, you can't do anything.
I'm going to get up here in about a minute and go do it. You can't do anything. You're trapped.
She just she just cannot face reality. And so later in the living room, we've got Peggy all alone, and she's like, it kind of looks like her nose is itching or something, and she needs somebody to come help her out. She goes, "Hello, someone, please." Hank comes in. He goes, "Sorry, Peggy, I was just washing your unmentionables here. Towels, washcloths, that sort of thing." It's not your unmentionables, Hank, but okay.
That's not unmentionable.
She goes, "Honey, I think a little piece of plaster fell in my underarm. It's driving me crazy." So then we see it transition to Hank is in there with a bunch of straws put together, and he's trying to fish stuff out of her body cast.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. She goes, "Left." She goes, No, my left." He goes, I thought I'd be spending some more time doing some hands-on baby care. Well, no, Peggy, you can't do hands-on baby care. She goes, I guess that was just a little unrealistic, huh? Yeah, no shit, Peggy. Yeah, it's a little unrealistic. Hank says, "Well, Helen Keller was largely useless, but look how we remember her, First Lady of the American Stage."
I got one for you here. So that is, again, showing Peggy's ignorance of facts, and she just spouts stuff off. Helen Keller.
Well, that's Hank.
Oh, sorry, Hank saying
Hank
that.
saying
I mean,
it.
Hank saying that. I meant not her.
Yeah, I got you.
So this is, again, just showing off somebody spouting off facts. I know I meant Hank, not Peggy. Sorry.
No, you're
good.
But
it says Helen Hayes. This is from Marty. Helen Hayes is the First Lady of the American Theater, or stage, if you will, the American stage.
Yeah.
Not Helen Keller. Helen Keller was deaf and blind.
Yeah.
And I don't know why he put dumb. He put deaf, dumb, and blind. She wasn't dumb.
Well, dumb just meant she couldn't speak. Is what he meant by that, like mute.
You, mute.
Yeah, that's what he meant. Yeah.
All right. And then, but she was featured in The Miracle Worker. I guess that was a movie she was in.
Oh, it was a great movie. She wasn't in it. It was the story of her life.
Oh, I thought she was in it.
I think it's like, Gregory Peck, maybe. I believe so.
Yeah,
something like
Gregory Peck. I really like
I think it was. And the only reason I say that
Scout. Yeah, I like that.
The only reason I say that is because I think it was. I always put the Helen Keller movie and what's the one about integration?
Lou Radley?
No, well, it's
Kill a Mockingbird? No.
Yeah, To Kill a Mockingbird. Yeah.
Lou Radley.
I always put those two together for some reason. I don't know why.
Peck, he was good in that movie.
Oh, Gregory Peck was an excellent actor.
I remember watching that a few times in school.
She goes, "Oh, I feel so stupid for jumping. It wasn't worth this. I mean, why did I do it? Do you remember? This is really bugging me, Hank." He goes, "Concentrate on where the straw is going, please." Because he's still trying to fish stuff out with those straws. She goes, "Hank, the straw broke off 5 minutes ago." Well, shit, why didn't he say something, Peggy? She goes, wait. I just remembered something. On the plane, I was talking to you on a phone. Do planes have phones? Hank's like, "Oh, that's a good one. I'll look into that." And he starts to kind of walk off, and he gets as far as the kitchen door, and he stops at the door when Peggy says, "No, I remember now. I was talking to you, but what did we say?" Hank says, "Well, it sounds familiar, but with all the noise from the engines and then you falling out and all, I'm not sure we'll ever know." He's just trying to sweep it under the rug. And she goes, "Please, Hank, you're going to have to be my memory because I don't have one anymore." He goes, "Deal," and then just walks off.
And leaves the room.
He just leaves her. All right, later that night, we're at the Hill house again. GH is crying because he's a brand new baby. Babies cry.
That's what they do.
He cries and he cries and he cries and he cries.
And
and we see him at the foot of Cotton and Didi's bed. Neither one of them wants to get up and do anything about it.
Nope.
Then we see Hank awake. He's kind of tossing and turning because he hears the baby. We see Peggy awake because she hears the baby. And then we see Dale over in his living room sitting in a bathrobe all by himself. He's awake. Then we see Boomhauer in his underwear at the end of his bed. He's awake. This baby is keeping everybody up with the exception of Bill.
Oh, Bill's going to sleep.
Bill is fast asleep. He's got chip packages all over him. And a squirrel climbs in through his window and starts eating chips.
Blood pressure, and probably early onset diabetes.
Well, he's got a damn squirrel crawling around on his chest eating chips.
Got rabies too.
The next day, we hear Peggy say, "Hank, I'm hungry." And Hank comes in. Hank is over his head at this point, right? There's just too much stuff. Again, Peggy has brought this damn baby and these two other people into their house. She's in a body cast. I mean, Hank and Bobby are having to do everything.
Yeah.
And it's because of Peggy's hubris. She just like, oh, I can do it. Well, no, you can't do anything, Peggy. But it's the next day. We see her. She talks about being hungry. Hank comes in and goes, hungry, but it's, okay. And he goes, I'm on it. And so you can tell that Hank is just completely overwhelmed at this point, right? Yeah. He doesn't even know what time of day it is.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
We hear GH crying again. Bobby comes in. He rolls the crib up next to Peggy, and he sets up the little mobile, did you say mobile or mobile?
Mobile?
What is it?
I thought that was in Alabama.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it just mobile? Is that what it is?
Mobile?
Mobile? I don't know. Somebody tell us. Artie, we need your help. I feel like Princess Leia. Artie, you're our only hope. So Bobby rolls the crib next to Peggy, and then Peggy says, oh, Bobby, good morning, honey. How are you? And Bobby just goes, Dad, Mom's talking. And then he just keeps going because he's got enough shit going on, too.
He's got way too much going on.
He's got a lot going on. He's taking care of this damn baby because nobody else will do it.
Yeah.
And so you hear the music coming out of the mobile, and she goes, Peggy goes, how about some eggs? And Hank says from the kitchen, he goes, you don't have to yell. We can hear you just fine through the baby monitor. So they've got the baby monitor set up.
In the room,
in there with her. And he comes back out. So does Bobby. And Hank has a bottle for Peggy. She goes, why am I being fed with a bottle, Hank? He goes, well, we're out of straws. She goes, well, I do not want to be fed with a bottle. And at this point, both of them are being fed with a bottle, GH and Peggy, because they're both helpless. He goes, it's just easier, okay, please. She goes, what is that? And she's taking some of the bottle, and Hank goes, well, it should be Carnation Instant Breakfast. Did you ever have that?
Carnation Instant Breakfast. No, I've never had anything like that.
It basically is.
30, Mike. That sounds like something that
it basically is formula for adults.
I just don't understand.
It comes in chocolate.
I never understood the formula for adults. I never understood why you see people really old buying Ensure. Like, can they not eat?
Well, they have a tough time digesting things or keeping up their calcium or their whatever else. It's about the other shit that's in it, like the electrolytes and things like that. It's about them getting the proper nutrition. Really, is what it's about. But I can tell you that Carnation Instant Breakfast doesn't have any of that. So.
Yeah.
It's just chocolate milk is basically what it is.
Sort of was, just like sugar.
I mean, it had stuff in it, but it had sugar, and then you put it in milk, and
I got to watching documentaries about like terrible working conditions and stuff in other countries, and I don't think the Himalayan salt is a scam, just so y'all know. Like, all the minerals and stuff that are in it, it's just a scam. It does have minerals and stuff, but it's no healthier for you than regular salt.
Sure.
There you go. It's a scam. And there's millions of Indian people that live in the desert that harvest this salt. And they say that some of the salt they harvest isn't even from the actual Himalayas. It's
I don't doubt that.
It's like 180 miles away from the Himalayas.
I'm going to tell you this right now, folks. Watch out for your Himalayan pink salt. Because it ain't what you think it is.
It's not free range.
Also, olive oil. Olive oil, did you know it doesn't have to be totally olive oil for you to call it olive oil?
Does it just have to be olive adjacent?
That's what I'm saying, right? So a lot of the olive oil you see in an H-E-B or a grocery store is just regular oil or canola oil or whatever.
Well, actually, the wine company that I work for, they they actually sell bottles of
they do olive oil.
Actual, free range.
Yeah,
olive
I don't
oil,
doubt that. I don't doubt that.
Olive oil. It's not,
those kind of guys are equipped to do that. I mean, because they're already processing that stuff anyway. Yeah, sure.
You can't get drunk off this olive oil. I don't know if you'd want to try it. Have you ever drank olive oil?
No, man. I don't want that. I don't want it. No. That's just drinking grease is all it is.
Yeah, but it's healthy grease, right? If it's olive oil.
Okay. No, I'm not doing that. Peggy goes, well, it tastes like formula. He goes, you took Peggy's bottle and I took the baby's bottle. He thinks that's funny. He goes, well, now that's funny.
Have you ever drank formula?
I have tasted formula.
Have you ever tasted breast milk?
No.
No.
No. There's that guy on Craigslist, but I didn't go get it.
You didn't go buy none.
And so Hank thinks it's funny, and Bobby and he kind of think it's funny that they got the bottles mixed up. But Peggy is she's distraught at this point. The reality of this thing is starting to hit her at this point, right? She sees the bottles, and she knows she's being treated like a baby. She goes, what are you doing? Look, I do not want a bottle. Okay. He goes, shh, shh. She goes, I'm not hungry. She goes, shh. She goes, I want some eggs. He goes, shh, shh, shh. And she's just crying, but she's still drinking from the bottle, and her lips are smacking, and she's and that takes us to our second commercial break. Stick around, and we will be right back.
Products.
Hey, Rusty, did you know that you could be putting oil and chemicals in your coffee?
No, I didn't know that.
I mean, I love coffee creamer, but I don't think I've ever turned a bottle around to actually see what's inside. You know, recently I did, and I found out many of my favorite creamers, like especially the one my wife used to use, they contain ingredients I would never intentionally add to my coffee cup, like canola oil, potassium phosphate, whatever that is.
Terrible.
Artificial flavors. I can't take artificial flavors a lot of the time.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm good on any flavoring.
They taste gross.
I don't like flavors in my coffee. I like the earth and flavor of coffee.
I mean, I love coffee. Don't get me wrong. I do love it. I just I don't like all that crap in my coffee, right?
Yeah, no, who does that?
So let me tell you about Laird Superfoods then. They have better ingredients, amazing taste, and functional benefits. Laird Superfood creamers are crafted from the highest quality, all-natural, real food ingredients. All Laird products are sustainably sourced and thoroughly tested to ensure that you're incorporating the cleanest, finest fuel into your routine. Now, they're all natural. They've got whole food ingredients. They contain naturally occurring MCTs from coconut oil, and everybody tells you coconut oil is good for you. Mm-hmm. There's no artificial flavors, no colors, no additives, no sugar from highly refined corn syrup. So that's a big deal right there. If you take one thing you do every day and make it better, Laird developed his creamer himself to stay powered for a day on the waves. He was a big wave surfer, Laird Hamilton was, and he needed a morning fuel that could allow him to spend the entire day chasing the ultimate wave. So he made this creamer, and it is it's crazy, crazy good. Laird sources high-quality plant-based ingredients globally and puts an emphasis on U.S. sources whenever possible. They aim to source responsibly and sustainably and believe that the foods you consume should be as good for the earth as they are for you. They have honest and transparent products and labels. If you try it, you won't go back. They have functional superfood creamers, instant lattes, and prebiotic greens. They have a variety of snacks and supplements full of wholesome plant-based ingredients to keep you charged for wherever life takes you. So to get a deal on Laird Superfoods, I need you to go to zen.ai BWAAA King of the Hill. So that's zen.ai/BWAAA King of the Hill. And your offer code there is BWAAA. So Laird Superfoods makes a better creamer that keeps you powered all day, and it's better for you, the earth, and your coffee. What do you say, Rusty? You want to go get some coffee?
Coffee.
Hey, Rusty?
Yeah.
Did you know that dehydration is the leading cause of daytime fatigue?
Oh, no.
I don't know about you, but like 2:30, 3 o'clock, I just hit a wall almost every day. I was shocked to learn that even mild dehydration can cause headaches, muscle weakness, brain fog, but luckily there's a cure.
Oh, there is?
Actually, I should have said there's a solution. It's called Cure. Cure Hydration. The Cure Hydration is an oral rehydration solution, or ORS, that contains the perfect balance of electrolytes. We know how important that is because plants crave it.
Super important.
And glucose to help your body absorb water and rehydrate quickly. The formula is made with all natural ingredients like coconut water, powder, and pink Himalayan salt. Whoopee. And it is free from artificial flavors, sweeteners, and preservatives. Cure Hydration is vegan, gluten-free, and non-GMO. That makes it a great option for anyone with dietary restrictions and preferences. The packets that they give you, they're convenient, they're easy to use. You just mix them with water and drink. They're perfect for on-the-go, travel, or anytime you need quick hydration. Hydration is more than just drinking water, Rusty. It is, that's what Lauren Picasso, a lifelong endurance athlete, discovered as she struggled to stay hydrated no matter how much water she drank. I've known people like that. My wife drinks so much water, it's crazy. Lauren found Cure, a science-backed electrolyte drink mix to make hydration easy for everyone. Cure believes that hydration should be simple and effective, but also clean and natural. That's why they only use the highest ingredients and quality plant-based
stuff to avoid any artificial or harmful additives. They're committed to transparency and honesty. All of their ingredients are clearly listed on their website and packaging, and they're always happy to answer any questions or concerns. So are you ready to combat dehydration?
Absolutely.
You can try Cure today and feel the difference for yourself. Use your code
BWAAA. Sorry, I blanked.
You're good. For 20% off your order. Try Cure today and feel the difference for yourself. Use our special code
BWAAA
for 20% off your order. Your coupon will be activated at checkout. Try Cure Hydration. Stop drying out.
Okay, so we are back. Thanks for sticking around.
Yeah, thanks for sticking around.
So both of them are crying in there, and Bobby says maybe Mom just needs to burp. And he picks up GH and kind of leaves the room whenever Hank says, Bobby, could you just give us a moment? He looks at Peggy, and he goes, what's wrong? She goes, bleh. And she's just crying. So she did need to burp.
Yeah.
She goes, my life is ruined. I had to jump out of a plane for our anniversary. Oh, I'm sorry, Hank. I ruined both of our lives. And she's just crying. Hank has he feels so guilty about this at this point. He's like, okay, look, it wasn't your fault. It was my fault. She goes, what? He goes, I do remember what I said to you in the plane. I never didn't remember. I begged you to jump, Peggy. You didn't want to, but, well, I made you. She goes, Hank, wait. He goes, jump, Peggy, jump. It's amazing. It's the greatest dang feeling in the world. She goes, Hank, I'm remembering. I didn't jump because you told me to jump. I jumped because of what you said right after about how Didi was starting to have her baby. She goes, I jumped because I was jealous.
Oh, wow.
And that's really what it comes down
That's really,
to.
yeah, that's the nuts and bolts of it.
She wants a baby so bad.
Yeah, but I don't understand, like, jealous about somebody having a baby and then jumping out of an airplane. That's too, like, how do they correlate?
Well,
like
I
the
think
math and science of it all doesn't add up.
Yeah, I think in her head, she's just like, okay, they're doing a life thing. I want to do a life thing. You know, I'm going to top them. Again, I think it's Peggy's hubris, though. I think it's her feeling like she's king of the mountain here, and she just ain't. You know,
Maybe she's trying to take the spotlight away.
She is. She doesn't like the spotlight to be on anybody but her. I know that.
Well, the spotlight is definitely
on her
and GH at the same time.
That's right.
They actually are both getting a fair amount of attention from
That's
everybody.
right, and the same kind of attention
At the same time, yeah, bottles, diapers.
She goes, I jumped.
nine.
She goes, I jumped because I was jealous. He goes, well, you can still have a baby. Didi's 3 years older than you, and she just had a baby. Again, that was a mind blower to me.
Yeah.
That Didi is 3 years older than Peggy, because Didi does not look 3 years older than Peggy.
No, she doesn't.
But I guess I don't know. Anyway, Peggy says, "Do you know what torture that was? I was once one of the finest mothers in the state of Texas." Okay, Peggy, calm down just a little bit.
Calm down.
She goes, and
baby.
now I can't even wipe a baby, and I have to watch those two, Cotton and Stupid, with their beautiful new baby that they don't even want. And she's just crying the whole time. She looks at Hank. She goes, well, what are you smiling about? He goes, oh, it wasn't my fault. Which this is kind of
bad too. That's just as bad as her.
This
That's
is
a whole fucked up situation.
This is Hank being a little like Peggy, and now we know why they're together.
Yeah.
He goes, well, it wasn't my fault.
Well, it wasn't my fault. All right,
just,
we're good. All right, you're in a body cast.
Again,
They're worried about trying to place blame.
There's one more thing that comes up here in a second, and it's just like, Hank, just read the room, man.
You know, that's the first bit of advice right there. If you're in a relationship, do not try to play the blame game.
Oh, no.
If you have to suck it up and take responsibility, even if you weren't a part of it or didn't do it, just do it. Just
there is no scoreboard. Do not keep score. It's like being paid, salary. If you start keeping track of your hours, you're going to be sorely disappointed. If you start with a scoreboard in your mind with your relationship, you're going to be sorely disappointed.
You've already lost.
Oh my gosh!
If you think you're winning and you're counting points,
no, please don't do that. No,
no.
Trust
me, that's not good.
He goes, it's just such a load off my mind. I feel lighter than air.
Okay,
Hank. He goes, I mean, I feel bad in a new way for you because of what you were just saying, that stuff. She goes, just leave me alone, okay? He goes, so you just want me to leave? She goes, yes.
Yeah.
He goes, so like the right thing for me to do is just leave even though you're crying? She goes, go. He goes, huh. Well, I'm skeptical, but okay. And then he just leaves. That is a weird thing for Hank to do. Now we're in Bobby's room, and we see him pacing back and forth with GH, trying to calm GH down. GH is just crying. And Bobby starts singing a song to GH, Caught Between the Moon and New York City. So he's singing the Christopher Cross song from the movie Arthur.
The theme song,
Yeah.
which was a Dudley Moore and Liza Minnelli, who was Judy Garland's daughter.
Yep.
It was a 1981 film, and it actually won the Oscar. That song won the Oscar for Best Original Song that year.
Yeah, I remember when Arthur came out. I mean, I was, what did you say, 81? So what you said, 1981?
Yeah, that's what it says.
So I was 12 when the movie came out. And I remember it being a funny movie. I mean, Dudley Moore was funny.
Yeah.
You know,
No, Dudley
Arthur,
Moore is funny,
Arthur was good.
It is a good movie.
The Russell Brand reboot was not good, but
it was okay. It was campy.
Yeah. Okay.
It was corny, but it was campy. it had its moments. The smoking a Jeffrey and rubbing the fuzzy wall kind of
Sure.
thing. That was a good joke.
But the baby is still crying, so he kind of raises an octave and he goes, Arthur, he does as he pleases. And then here comes Cotton in at Bobby's door, and he goes, Bobby, since you're doing all the woman's work around here, be a woman and get me my shin jelly.
Yeah, so
Jesus,
he's got
Cotton.
his shin jelly quote
Jesus.
here. I don't know where this is quoted from, but it says, it is a supplement used to correct shin gel deficiencies in geriatric patients, of which World
He doesn't
War II
have any.
veterans-
How's he going to correct his shin gel?
Oh, I don't know. Of which World War II veterans and retired asbestos installers are the most susceptible. It's a quote from, it's a King of the Hill thing.
Wow.
It's a joke about,
Okay.
it's a joke.
Gotcha.
I think he has no sin, so maybe it's Anki jelly.
Anki jelly. He tells him to get his shin jelly, and Bobby says, GH kind of needs me right now. He's holding GH. And by the way, I was just struck in this moment how much he looks like a tiny Bobby.
He does look
He
like
looks
a tiny
exactly
Bobby.
like Bobby.
And you know what? That kind of makes me think when they age Bobby up, is Bobby going to look like a young Cotton? Like whenever we see Cotton in the military scenes
Maybe.
and stuff, is he going to look like a young Cotton?
Maybe.
Will he, too, kill 50 men? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
So he goes, well, GH kind of needs me right now. Cotton goes, so take him along. Just get the jelly and lather me up. So Bobby, just being a good grandson, he gets a little mad, but he puts GH in the car seat and starts carrying him around.
Yeah,
and he goes,
reminiscent of a woman after she tells you to do something, and you're like, after you ask her to do something that she doesn't want to do, but she's going to do it anyway.
He's pissed off, puts
He's
the baby in the
pissed.
carrier, and he goes, fine, I'll get you the. And he goes out into the hall where he meets Didi, who still looks terrible. And she goes, Bobby, could you buy me some lottery tickets? He goes, and this is
12-year-old
Bobby
boy.
has had
Yeah,
enough
he's at
at
his
this
limit,
point. He's,
yeah.
I am a 12-year-old boy. I am this child's nephew. I cannot do this. I cannot do this. And he gives GH to Didi, and he storms out the front door as he's saying, if anybody makes dinner, I'll eat, but that's it. All I'll do is eat.
I love that so much.
Didi goes,
All I'll do is eat.
Didi just kind of looks at this baby like it's a Martian, and she goes, baby, stop crying. Oh, I'm tired. And so she takes the baby in there and sets it at the feet of Peggy's gurney, which, good God, lady. I mean, that's rough, man. You're just walking off from your baby. Peggy, she hears it and kind of feels it and goes, Didi, are you leaving? No, please, someone has to watch the baby because unless it's flying above my head, I cannot do it. And then you see it from her viewpoint, and all she can see is the ceiling.
That's
You know,
it,
she
yeah.
sees a ceiling fan every once in a while and maybe a TV if it's up in the corner. And so she goes, help. Would somebody come? Hank comes in. He goes, what's wrong? He goes, I shouldn't have left, right? You know, I had a feeling. Yeah, Hank, that feeling was right. She goes, the baby. He goes, yeah. She goes, it's crying. He says, it's always crying. The baby hasn't stopped crying since it got here. Well, that's what babies do, Hank.
That's what they do.
She says, just do something. And so Hank does his best. He goes over there and he dangles some keys in front of the baby. He takes a measuring tape out and snaps it a few times.
Yeah, you're not my brother.
He smiles super weird at the baby. It's really odd seeing him smile. It's kind of creepy, honestly.
Yeah, it is.
And he goes,
He's not a smiler.
you sure you're my brother? And then as he's saying that, he looks out the back door and he sees Cotton out there with a beer talking to the three guys over the fence.
Getting pissed now.
And he gets pissed, and I don't blame him, honestly. And so he starts to go outside mad, and Peggy says, hey, wait, don't go, because all people have left her so far. And he goes, all right, I've had enough, Dad. And he literally grabs Cotton by the back of the shirt.
Drags him
like
in the
he's
house. going
going to drag him in there.
He does that sometimes, though. He gets a little physical with him sometimes.
He goes,
he can, because he ain't got no shins.
Hank says, there's a baby crying in this house. He goes, well, go fix it. He goes, no, you go fix it. He goes, I ain't getting near that child. He's possessed. Hank says, he's just leaking a little milk. Sure, it's disturbing, but he'll grow out of it. He goes, how do you know? Are you a leaker? You leaking on me right now, leaky? And he lifts up Hank's shirt, looking at it. And then the unthinkable happens. The baby stops crying. Everybody goes, oh, shit, what happened? And so they're worried that something's happened. He goes, you hear that? That's silence. GH? He goes, something's wrong. And they both run in the back door, where they see Peggy with tears in her eyes, and she is rocking that baby with her big toe at the end of the gurney. And she goes, isn't it amazing? It's the greatest dang feeling in the world.
Nazi squazzy. That was the.
What a great way to end the episode, though.
Yeah,
Peggy ultimately could take care of the baby, just in a limited ability.
Yeah,
she
was able to do something. She was able to rock the baby, and sometimes that's all they need is a little rocking, and they'll go straight to sleep.
And then, of course, after the credits, we hear a Nazi squazzy.
Nazi squazzy.
Yep.
So that was it, guys. That's your first video episode here on the YouTube channel.
It was a great episode, honestly. They did a really good job of marrying those two subjects together.
It's really like a 3-part episode, though.
Yeah.
Really, they say it's a 2-parter, but they really like.
No, the
Peggy,
next one. Yeah.
Peggy being in a body cast lasts for another episode, I believe.
Oh yeah,
or
yeah.
more maybe.
Well,
2
they're
more
cutting
episodes, right?
cutting her out, and the only reason I know that is because I let the episode play too long. I went to the
so
next one,
The
but
next episode she gets cut out. Okay.
yeah. All right, you want to tell them where they can find us if they want more of this?
Yeah, you can find us anywhere you get podcasts. You can also find us at BWAAAKOTH. That's at linktr.ee/BWAAKOTH. It has our link tree, which has our YouTube, which is where you'll find a lot of our video content, all of our video content until we start Patreon.
Yeah.
That's where everything's at. We still yet to update the music, but we'll get that sorted out eventually. But
What music?
The music playlist, we still
because
I was going to erase it clean, and then you put 10 songs, I put 10 songs, and Mason put 10 songs.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Curate it a little bit. I got to add Mason to it. He's got to give me his email, whatever his Spotify email is.
Yeah, sure.
If he has Spotify, I don't know if he does or not.
Yeah, I'm sure he
does.
does.
If he does, I need to add him to that playlist so he.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I would love to have like a playlist that kind of rotates out there. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, we could
be able to give people access to that.
Just come up with 10 songs on there. I'll put 10 songs, and Mason can put 10 songs. And then we can get that going. But, yeah, appreciate you guys hanging out with us for 4 seasons. This is season 4, episode 1. So I think there's like 25 episodes in this one, too.
Yeah.
So another 25 weeks of season 4.
Guys, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. We're going to keep adding to the set and try to get more of a King of the Hill feel out of it. But it's been fun.
Yeah, now with these video clips. With us being video, you'll be able to find video clips on YouTube Shorts as well as Instagram Reels as well as TikTok as well. Because I'm gonna once ever we get it done, once the episode is released, I'm gonna chop it up and put it in a nice little shorts for everybody to.
I'll be doing some cave paintings, and maybe some interpretive dance. Videos. So be on the lookout for those.
Be on the lookout for that. We'll do some Texas cave paintings.
That sounds great.
Yeah, we go to the Texas caves and go paint.
Really looking forward to
cave.
that. I tell you,
like illegally break into the caverns and spray paint. Go to jail.
I will tell you this: we've been talking about going to Texas State for a while, and going through their archives. I think we need to make a real push of that. And if you guys would like to help us make a push to get to Texas State and go through the archives so that you can see it and you can experience it with us, please get in touch with us.
Yeah, if you want to donate anything, time, money, whatever. Yeah, so
good feelings.
Good feelings. Because I think that would be great. I think that would be great. And what that does is that sets us up for a whole new world of content.
It's true.
Because they have it indexed and broken down. So I feel like if we go down there, we just go check out the first season. Yeah. First season full of stuff, and just to see what they have in general. To see if what what capacity we're able to copy these things to be able to have stuff to bring back to look at. Because it's hard to sit there. I'm not a college kid, so I'm not going to sit there and do 8 hours worth of research in a library at 32 anymore. I'm good on that. But I think it would be fun for sure.
Shin jelly.
And if we do that, guys, there'll definitely be video content for you for that.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, what I plan on doing was wearing like a GoPro on my head.
Yeah.
During the whole thing.
That would be good.
Yeah.
That would be good.
So you guys can see my point of view.
I went
POVKOTH.
I was on an online police auction, and I bought 4 or 5 body cams.
Wonderful.
I'm just kidding. I didn't
Great.
do that.
Great.
That's a good bit, though. That would be a good
Sure.
book, I think, somewhere. Yeah.
Well, guys, thanks again for joining us. We really appreciate it, and we will see you again next time.
We Matanye.
We Matanye, indeed.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.